What's up, y'all? I don't even know what to say, man, but I got to talk about these five disgraceful officers on the Memphis Police Department. Just disgraceful. I mean, there's words don't even adequately explain what I'm feeling right now. And if anybody watches any of my videos, you know that I'm a champion for diversity, and I speak up and I try to solicit people within the Black community to apply for, these jobs, apply to be an police officer, corrections officer, go to law school, try to get in the courts, whatever. I'm a champion for diversity. But the disgraceful actions from these five Black officers against that Black suspect in Memphis is absolutely disgraceful. And you know that I've made it known on here that it is extremely hard for Black folks in law enforcement because we're severely outnumbered. We don't have the same good old boy system. It's tough. It is just tough. And these five Black officers, whether they realize it or not, they are going to set all of us back. Who knows how far back? I mean, I don't know what in the world they were thinking, but they're getting ready to get their wake-up call. They are getting ready to get their wake-up call. And race, it goes past race because it's a humanity thing, but there also is that racial element that, you just have to discuss it. Because I know there's people that's probably wondering, oh, am I going to talk about this one because, it's five Black officers killing another Black man. Let's see if he, is just as angry as if, white people were to do it. Yes, I am. I'm just as angry, but I'm more disappointed. And I'm more disappointed because there are people that those Black officers, they are standing on the shoulders of other people that paved the way for them to be able to be officers. And how do they thank those people? They beat a man to death, allegedly. Obviously you got to say allegedly, but we know that they've been charged with second-degree murder along with other crimes. But I don't even have a script for this. I'm going to just freestyle this. I'm going to do like Kanye. I think he said he had like a stream of consciousness. He went on some talk show and he just was blabbing on. So I'm going to blab on in this. Excuse me. I am so disappointed. I am so upset. I'm so angry about this. It is absolutely horrible. And if you watched any of my videos or some of them, I recently did a video where I talked about, I don't remember who it was. Oh, Kanye, about having his, quote, nigga wake up call. Well, these officers, they about to have their nigga wake up call. And I don't know what would possess them to think that they could do something like that and just think that they would get away with it. Now, I have not seen the video yet, but multiple reports, people that have seen the video, they're just like, oh, wow, this is horrible, worst thing I've ever seen, yada, yada. Attorney Benjamin Crump, he said that it was likened to the Rodney King beating. So they're trying to brace, the world for this video that's going to come out. But I just, man, it irritates me because, again, for Black folks in law enforcement, like I said, it is hard for us, man. It is hard. You got to deal with the crap on the job from other officers that are closed-minded. And then you have to deal with crap from people within your own community, because they think you're a sellout or they think you in the house. Now, obviously for me, I did have those issues in the beginning, but now I don't really have those issues because they know what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? But in the beginning of my career, yeah, oh man, you a sellout, or why are you working for the man, this, that, and the other. But again, now they know that, I'm a fair individual. I'm going to treat people right and I'm going to do my job. But even with that, I still had to go through that struggle. And there's other people that have to go through that struggle. But I'm so hurt. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. It's just all the above because, you have people that are literally trying to fight for equal rights in the workplace and trying to fight for a more diverse work environment. And then you see this type of stuff. So again, for any Black officers that's watching this in whatever type of law enforcement capacity, you let this be a lesson Let this be a lesson. You got the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, the head dude. He went up, gave some very strong sound bites. Talk about this, the horrible and unacceptable, and I can't believe. They ain't got no problem throwing them black officers under the bus. They ain't got no problem speaking very stern. You even had the police chief that put out some strong sound bites to go against them. They had no problems. Now, when it comes to, officers of other races, it ain't that type of strong talk. It's not. It's a rare exception. You know what I'm saying? Even with the death of George Floyd, those officers initially, as you know, it took a little while for something to manifest, but there was still no strong talk like it is with these Memphis Five. You know what I'm saying? So you let this be a lesson. Just do the right thing. There are other people that are trying to count on you. There are other people that want to get in this profession or that are already in this profession, and they're trying their best to just survive in the profession. And for this to happen, now, let me just make it clear. Now, I'm not perfect, right? I know I make mistakes. We're all human. We're susceptible to error. I get that. But this type of stuff, man, this is crazy. So I don't even know what I'm going to do. I am going to watch the video. I'm going to see what it's about. I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch the whole thing or not. But again, it takes it to another level, and I'm just being honest. And these are discussions that are being had in many different circles, whether it's black or white or whatever. But it's crazy just knowing that you got 5 black officers that was willing to beat somebody like that looks like them. To do that, to beat somebody that looks like them like that, and to just, I don't understand that. I mean, it's absolutely horrible. Now, again, I am not talking about they should have had preferential treatment for him, or they should have treated him better, because that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is those black men should know what it's like to be a black man in America. They should know what it's like concerning the interactions between the black community and the police. So they should have a good understanding of that. So if anything, they should be aware of, hey, let me try to be the best example I can be. You know what I'm saying? But they decided to do what they did, and now they're going to get their nigga wake-up call, as Paul Mooney would say. I don't know what else to say about this. And again, I know there's people I work with, they waiting to see, is he going to say something about Yeah, I'm going to say something about it. It is wrong. It is horrible. But it just takes it to another level. Just knowing that it was 5 black officers, and then I guess some EMT people that didn't render aid or whatever, just knowing that they were willing to do that. And it's like, what did you think? You thought you was different? Like you thought you was a part of some protective good old boy club? I mean, come on, man. Again, this is a Kanye West stream of consciousness, I guess, if you will. But this is just it is so shameful, and it is so disappointing. It is so wrong. And they don't even understand that they are going to set black folks back, set us back in this profession. Just disgraceful. And let me reiterate, and for any other black officers, that's working in law enforcement, get it out of your head that you feel like you can do what other officers that don't look like you can do. Get that out of your head. If you don't learn nothing else from this incident with these 5 disgraceful officers, let it be known to yourself. Look at how, man, they put these people on the prosecution fast track. When you see other officer-involved deaths of suspects, even if they're unarmed, whatever, it takes a while for things to happen. It takes a city to be halfway burned down. It takes, endless protests, a bunch of media coverage. And then sometimes they'll bring forth charges, and a lot of times they don't. But with this, in a matter of a week or two, the officers were fired and facing murder charges. When you get it through your thick head, All right, you're going to be held to a different standard. And then to a certain extent, yeah, I'm using the race card on this because it is discussions that are being had on the right and the left about it. A lot of political commentators, a lot of legal commentators, they are bringing up the fact that, these charges and the employment actions were relatively swift and like it was just swift. It was quick, but again, they set us back with this, and it is disgraceful. It is disgraceful, man. And from what I understand, some of these officers allegedly they have a history of doing this kind of stuff, and so now it's catching up to them. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But one thing, if you're black and you working in law enforcement, or if you're thinking about getting into law enforcement, you let this be a lesson. Now, I'm not saying that you have to, with you being black, that you got to treat black suspects, whatever, better than. That's not what I'm saying. You're going to treat everybody equal. You know what I'm saying? You have to. That's your job. You're going to treat everybody equal. But all I'm saying is, don't you think for 1 second that you can do what they can do and get away with it or be treated the same way that they're treated. It ain't gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Again, when I first started in my career, the OGs, numerous OGs sat me down and they laid the game out to me. They told me the pitfalls to avoid, things to stay away from, the things to not get involved in because your black behind is going to get fried for it. So don't get involved. Just do the right thing, get your check and go home. But now these officers, I don't know. I don't know if they thought they were special. I don't know if they thought they were different. I don't know if they thought in their minds that, these unsaid rules didn't apply to them. But guess what? They got their nigga wake up call now. As what Paul Mooney would say, they got their nigga wake up call now. And this is now. Let me put up my disclaimers too. I'm just so fired up. This is not. I don't represent any government entity. I'm only speaking for myself. These are my own personal opinions. My own personal opinions. And you guys know, man, when I do these videos, I talk about the need for inclusion. I talk about the need for having a diverse police department because it's important to effectively communicate and deal with the various communities, but then you got to see this kind of garbage on the TV, where these black officers conducting themselves in this way. We still fighting and scrapping to try to be treated equal. And you go and you do something like you've given arsenal for these conservatives and for all these crazy folks to now, like I said, instead of just saying, what about Chicago? Now they're going to be able to say, well, what about Memphis? What about the Memphis Five? What about the Memphis Five boys? What about them? I'm just, man, it is frustrating. And I don't know, man. I got to calm down because I know, again, I got coworkers that's watching my videos trying to wait to see me say something dumb so they can try to report me again. But, it is what it is. And these officers, man, it's crazy whether they understand it or not. They are blemishing. They are putting a huge blemish, a scarlet letter, whatever you want to call it. They are making all black officers look bad across this country. Do you know how much fuel is going to come out of this for people that, like to stir up the pot and talk about, these racial issues or, pointing the finger, the what about Chicago and all this stuff? Well, now they're going to say, what about Memphis? What about those Memphis officers? So anytime, if another white officer, or not if, but when, say, another white officer, shoots and kills an unarmed black individual, they're going to be, well, what about those Memphis officers? It's just, man, it is mind boggling. And here's the thing, okay? I would imagine that they're most likely going to be telling on each other, trying to cut deals or whatever. But, I would imagine the ones that are going to end up doing time, they're going to have a difficult time. And if you're one of them officers watching this, what were you thinking? What in the world were you thinking? Now your world is about to collapse. What kind of prison time you think you're going to be able to do? You're going to be public enemies number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Where do you think you're going to be able to go? You already marked because you're an officer. You're a police officer. So you already marked as no good. And then on top of being a police officer, you are a black police officer and you beat a black man to death. I'm just keeping this real. You know what I'm saying? Where do you think you're going to go to do time in prison and you're going to be relatively okay? They're going to have to put you somewhere in a special protected thing where, there are certain things under the Eighth Amendment that, the government is required to do to try to reasonably prevent cruel and unusual punishment. But everybody watches the news. They listen to the radio. They read the newspapers. Y'all people, once you get sentenced and before they ship you to wherever you're going, the inmate population, wherever you're going, they're going to know that you're going to hit whatever yard. They're going to know, and they're going to be ready, and they're going to be waiting for you. You're going to have a hard time doing time. Where do you think you're going to go? A black man as a police officer beating another black man to death. Like, again, your time is going to be extremely difficult. Sure, you could be in solitary confinement for a certain period of time, but how you going to do that forever? That will just eat away at your mind, destroy you. You got to have some type of human interaction. But, none of this stuff was thought of when y'all thought y'all could do what them other officers do. And I've said this numerous times on here and even in person to people. When I talk to different black officers, the OGs, like I said, when I first got hired in the game, they told me, don't think that you can do what the other officers can do, because you cannot do it. And it's true. And now look at these officers, man. They beat this dude. He died from injuries of the beating, and I only think like maybe this happened maybe like 2 weeks ago. They've already been fired and they're already facing murder charges. They have been fast tracked. What made you think that you could just do this and you was going to be okay? I just don't understand it. And please forgive me if I sound fired up, but I am fired up because there are so many good black officers that are trying to change the mold. They're trying to break barriers. They're trying to do different things. And here we go with this garbage. These 5 disgraceful black officers that did what they did to that young man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to set us all back. Y'all going to set us back for a very long time. I'll let you in on a little black community joke. There's times where black people might get promoted to different positions within management. And sometimes, we'll joke around and we'll say, all right, man, you better do a good job, because if you don't, they ain't going to hire a nigga for, a long time. And it's unfortunately it's a reality. You know what I'm saying? It's a reality. And it's the same even for other protected classes. You might have women where they might say, hey, girl, represent us. You the first, or, do good, man, because if you don't, that's going to be the excuse not to mess with us no more. So it's not just people within the black community that say that, but, we do joke around, when somebody gets promoted, and we'll say, hey, man, you better make sure you hold it down for us, because if not, you're going to mess it up for us for years. And with this, it's the same type of sentiments. These 5 black officers, they are messing it up for us. And it's going to be like this for a while. And the thing that just boggles my mind is, what was their mindset? Obviously, it was a depraved mindset, but what made them think that they could just go and just forget about the race factor, just a human being? Because again, from what I'm understanding, what I'm reading and researching, the video is very, very terrible. It's a horrible video. Just from a human aspect, why would you do that? And then to add on to it, you being a black man in this country, you should either have direct knowledge or what you learned in law school, constructive knowledge of the issues surrounding being a black man in America. You should know that. And for you to conduct yourself like that, it is shameful. It's horrible, man. So let me wrap this up, man, because I'm going to get myself in trouble. I'm fired up. If y'all don't know already, I'm a renegade. All right. I'm part renegade. I've always been like that. But, I got to try to uphold this certain level of responsibility that I have, but my heart goes out to the young man's family. I just felt so sorry for his mother, as she was standing there next to Attorney Crump and just crying, just inconsolable. Just I feel so bad. And again, this is the elephant in the room that other political pundits and legal pundits are talking about. This story just it hits different because it's 5 black officers that beat a black man. Basically, they beat him to death. You know what I'm saying? That's the big elephant in the room, and just to know that they were willing to do that. I mean, man, that is crazy. And again, you are to treat all people that you encounter, suspects or inmates, you treat them all fair, no matter their race, religion, whatever. You treat them all fair. But as we know, the elephant in the room is, how could these black men do this to a black man? I didn't come up, I'm not the originator of this observation. If you just go online or you watch the news, you will see there are other people talking about that. And that is the elephant in the room, because a lot of times in the black community, when people die at the hands of the police, it's usually by a white officer. And so you have the public outcry, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. But with this, it hits different because they're like, well, wait a minute. That's not those aren't white people that did that. Those are your own people that did that. Those are your people that did that. You know what I'm saying? So it is the big fat pink elephant in the room. But my prayers go out to the victim's family, and we'll see what happens with this. But definitely, this is a huge setback for all black officers that work in the profession, and for the name of diversity and inclusion, this definitely is a blow. So until the next video, holla at your boy.